friends, welcome to the world of Companies Act 2013. I, Professor Kunal Shah, on behalf of JK Shah Classes, is over here to present you all a lecture towards section number 135 of Companies Act 2013. Yes, my dear friends, the provisions of section number 135 which we are going to understand will be covering the recent amendments which are being issued by ICAI under the revisionary test papers issued for students appearing exams for December 2021. Over here, section number 135 of Companies Act 2013 deals with CSR, that is corporate social responsibility. To be more precise with you all, corporate social responsibility means the responsibility of a company towards the society. Over here, whenever the provisions of section number 135 is been made applicable upon your company, then yes, your company will be mandatorily been required to spend certain amount of profits on certain specified areas which are towards the upliftment of the society. And whenever the company will be spending such amount towards the areas of social upliftment, the company will be discharging its responsibility towards the society. Whenever the provisions of section number 135 is applicable upon your company, then yes, your company will be asked to spend a prescribed percentage of profits upon a specified area which is being covered under schedule number 7 of Companies Act 2013. See, there are various things specified under schedule number 7 of Companies Act 2013. Your company can choose any 1, 2 or 3 items or maybe 4 items from schedule number 7, and the money could be utilized to spend towards those activities which are being laid down under the CSR policy of your company. Over here, the very first thing we have to understand is the formation of a CSR committee. Which company will be required to constitute a CSR committee? Over here, the lawmaker says whenever the net profit of your company is 5 crores or more, or else the turnover of the company is 1000 crore or more, or whenever the net worth of the company is 500 crores or more. If any one of the limits gets exceeded, then yes, your company shall constitute a CSR committee. So over here, you might get an MCQ question over here, wherein they might ask you that the provisions of CSR committee will be made applicable when. So when, number 1, either the net worth is exceeding 500 crores or more, or the turnover is exceeding 1000 crores or more, or the net profit is exceeding 5 crores or more. If any one of the given limits gets exceeded, then yes, your company is being asked to have a CSR committee. There are few people who will be elected under the CSR committee, and they will be selected out of the board of directors of the company. Over here, the very first thing we need to understand is about the calculation of the net worth. How to calculate net worth? Net worth is been defined under section number 2, clause 57 of Companies Act 2013. Whenever we want to calculate a net worth, the formula says net worth means it is paid up capital plus all reserves created out of the profits plus securities premium account. So 3 things should be added. Number 1, paid up share capital. Number 2, all reserves which are being created out of the profits. Number 3, securities premium account. These 3 things should be added. I repeat, these 3 things should be added. Over here, we need to subtract number 1, accumulated losses, number 2, deferred expenditure, and number 3, miscellaneous expenditures which are not written off. So 3 things will be added and 3 things will be subtracted. The final amount will be acting as a net worth. Always and always remember, if a reserve is being created out of revaluation of assets, or by write back of depreciation and amalgamation, then such reserves are not to be included. So over here we have understood about how to calculate the net worth. The second thing we need to understand over here is about the average net profits. Average net profit should be calculated as per the provision of section number 198 of Companies Act 2013. See, whenever we are going to calculate the net profit, always remember these two things should not be included while calculating net profits. That is number one, a profit which is arising from any overseas branch, and number two, any dividend which has been received from other companies in India. These two things should not be considered while calculating net profits. So we have understood what all things. Number one, we have understood about the calculation of the net worth. It should be calculated as per section number 2 clause 57, and we also understood about the calculation of the net profit. Net profit should be calculated as per section number 198 of Companies Act 2013. While calculating the net profit, two things shall not be included. Over here, if you are a foreign company, we have already understood what is a foreign company. Section number 2 clause 42 defines a foreign company. So if you are a foreign company, then in that case the net profit of a foreign company will be calculated as per section number 198 along with section number 381 of Companies Act 2013. What is section number 381? However, it is going to get covered in our final CA. So over here, in case of a foreign company, the net profit will be calculated with section number 381 read with section number 198 of Companies Act 2013. The next thing we need to understand over here is about the amount of contribution towards the CSR. What is the minimum amount a company requires to contribute towards CSR activities? The lawmaker over here says in every financial year, the board of every company shall ensure that the company spends at least 2% of the average net profits of the company made during the immediately preceding 3 financial years. So we have to spend at least 2% of the average net profits, and when I say average net profits, it is of last 3 financial years. We need to calculate the net profits of last 3 financial years, we need to take its average, and of that amount at least 2% should be spent towards the CSR activities. Now there is an amendment over here which says that however, if the company is a newly incorporated company wherein the company has not completed 3 years of its business, then in that case the company has not completed the period of 3 financial years since its incorporation, then you should take the average of any such financial years which has been completed. So what is the minimum amount the company is required to spend towards the CSR activities? It is at least 2% of the average net profits of the company made during the 3 immediately preceding financial year. However, if it is a newly incorporated company, then in that case, the number of years which are already been completed from its incorporation should be considered and not 3 years. The lawmaker over here says that whenever a company is going for a CSR activity, then the company should always and always give a preference to its local areas. The preference should be first given to its local areas. The CSR activities should be done at an area called as the local area. That's the preference which should be generally given. The lawmaker over here says that if the company fails to spend such amount, then in that case the board shall in its report specify the reasons for not spending the amount. For example, a company had to spend approximately 100 crore rupees in a financial year towards CSR activities, but the company has spent only 65 crores towards CSR activities. So the company has failed to spend the amount required to be spent towards the CSR activities. Now in that case, the board of the company in its board report shall specify the reasons for not spending the amount. And yes, the unspent amount relates to any ongoing project should be transferred to an unspent amount to a fund specified in schedule number 7 within a period of 6 months of the expiry of the financial year. So whatever is the unspent amount, that unspent amount has to get transferred towards a fund which has been specified in schedule number 7, and such amount should be transferred to that fund within 6 months of the expiry of the financial year. Generally, the financial year gets completed on 31st of March. From that 31st of March, within 6 months, the unspent amount should get transferred. The next point over here, the company spends on amount in excess of the requirements. For example, if the company is required to spend only 100 crore rupees, but the company have spent around 150 crore rupees towards the CSR activities, then such companies may set off such excess amount against the requirement to spend under this subsection for such number of succeeding financial year and in such manner as may be prescribed. In short, if you are being asked to spend 100 crores and you have spent an amount which is exceeding 100 crores, for example, you have spent 150 crores, then whatever is the excess amount you have spent, that excess amount you can get it set off for such number of years towards CSR activities. Over here, the next point says if any amount is remaining unspent, if the amount is remaining unspent, pursuant to any ongoing project fulfilling such conditions as may be prescribed, undertaken by a company in pursuance of its CSR policy, then such unspent amount shall be transferred by the company within a period of 30 days from the end of financial year to a special account to be opened by the company in that behalf for that financial year in any scheduled bank to be called as unspent corporate social responsibility account. Once again, if the amount is remaining unspent which is towards an ongoing project, if the company has gone for a CSR activities which is a long-term project, and if any amount which is remaining unspent, then the unspent amount should be transferred to a special account called as unspent corporate social responsibility account, and that amount should be transferred within a period of 30 days from the end of the financial year. And yes, such amount shall be spent by the company in pursuance to its obligation towards CSR policy within a period of 3 financial years from the date of such transfer. So over here, whatever is the unspent amount that should be utilized by the company maximum within 3 years towards that specified project. Failing which, the company shall transfer. However, if the amount is not been spent within 3 years, then the amount should be transferred to a fund which is specified in schedule 7 within a period of 30 days from the date of completion of that third financial year. So whatever is the unspent amount, you have transferred it to a special account called as unspent corporate social responsibility account. Now whatever is the amount lying inside that account should be spent within 3 years. However, if any amount is remaining still unutilized, then such amount should be transferred to a specified fund under schedule number 7, and that should be transferred within 30 days from the completion of the third financial year. However, if the company has made a default in complying with the provision, then the company will be asked to pay a penalty which will be twice the amount which is required to be transferred, or the unspent amount as the case may be, or 1 crore whichever is less. Either twice the amount which is required to be transferred, or the amount which was unspent as the case may be, or rupees 1 crore whichever is lower. Every officer of the company who is in default will be asked to pay a penalty which will be 1/10 of the amount which is required to be transferred to the fund, or the unspent amount as the case may be, or rupees 2 lakhs whichever is less. So if the amount is not been transferred within the given time limit, then yes, the company as well as every officer who is in default will be having a monetary penalty over here. The next point says the central government may give such general or special directions to a company or class of companies as it considers necessary to ensure the compliance of the provisions of this section. In short, it is the central government who will be giving certain general directions or special directions to the company in order to fulfill the provisions of this section. Lawmaker says if the amount to be spent by a company does not exceed 50 lakh rupees, if the amount which is required to be spent by the company is not exceeding 50 lakh rupees, then in that case the requirement of constituting CSR committee shall not be applicable upon that company. So CSR committee will be coming into picture only when the amount which is required to be spent towards CSR is more than 50 lakh rupees. However, if the amount is not exceeding 50 lakh rupees, then the company is not required to constitute a CSR committee. Sir, if the CSR committee is not constituted, then who will discharge the functions of a CSR committee? The lawmaker says the functions of the CSR committee in that case will be discharged by the board of directors of the company itself. Lawmaker says that if the company requires, the company may build its own CSR capacity with their own personnel as well as those of implementing agencies through institutions with an established track record of at least 3 financial years. So if the company wants to spend the amount by itself, then yes, the company can go for it. But if the company wants to have a CSR capacity over here, whatsoever is the implementing agency, that implementing agency should have a established track record of at least 3 financial years. But the administrative overhead expenditure of that entire agency shall not exceed 5% of the total CSR expenditure. However, this point we have already completed in our regular lectures as well. Okay. Next comes is about the composition of the CSR committee. Composition of the CSR committee. Lawmaker says that CSR committee shall be constituting of 3 or more directors. So there will be at least 3 or more directors inside a CSR committee, and yes, at least one of the directors shall be an independent director. Even this point was being covered in our regular lectures. Over here, if the company does not have an independent director, then yes, the CSR committee will be a committee without such director. However, if you are a private company wherein the directors are only 2 in your company, then in that case the CSR committee will be comprising of only 2 directors. Generally, CSR committee comprises of 3 or more directors, but if you are a private company having only 2 directors, then in your case the CSR committee, CSR committee will be having only 2 such directors. If you are a foreign company, then in that case the CSR committee shall comprise of at least 2 persons. In case of a foreign company, the CSR committee shall be of at least 2 persons, of which 1 person shall be a person specified under section number 381D of Companies Act 2013. The board report which we have understood under section number 134 will also disclose the composition of the CSR committee. The next point says the CSR committee shall formulate and recommend to the board an annual action plan in pursuance of its CSR policy. So it is the CSR committee who will formulate and also recommend to the board about the annual action plan, that in this entire year what are the activities the company should go on with in order to fulfill its CSR policy. Over here, it is a CSR committee who will list down the CSR projects or program that are approved to be undertaken in areas or subjects specified in schedule number 7. What will be the manner of execution of such projects? What are the modalities of utilization of funds and implementations, schedules for the projects or programs? Modality stands for the modes, taur tarika, that is the modes of utilization of the funds. Monitoring and reporting mechanism for the projects or programs, and the details of need and impact assessment, if any, for the projects undertaken by the company. So all these things will be specified, all these things will be recommended and formulated by the CSR committee itself. So it is a CSR committee who will formulate and recommend to the board about the annual action plan which is required to be done towards the CSR policy, wherein it is the CSR committee who will list down the CSR projects. It will also tell about the manner of execution of such projects, the modes through which the utilization of funds should be done, and monitoring and reporting mechanism for the projects or the programs which are being specified under the CSR policy. Next comes is about the duties of CSR committee. What are the duties of CSR committee? The lawmaker over here says the CSR committee will be having three foremost duties. That is, number one, to formulate and recommend to the board a CSR policy. It is the CSR committee who will formulate the entire CSR policy, and they will also recommend the CSR policy to the board of directors. Whatever are the activities given inside the CSR policy, those activities will be picked up from the areas which has been specified under schedule number 7 of Companies Act 2013. See, under schedule number 7, a huge list has been given. Out of that huge list, you can select any 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or maybe 4 activities, and you can put those activities inside your CSR policy. It is a CSR committee who will recommend the amount of expenditure to be incurred on the activities referred in CSR policy. What is the amount which is required to be spent, even that amount will be recommended by the CSR committee. And yes, the CSR committee will also monitor the CSR policy of the company from time to time. So we have understood what are the duties of CSR committee. Now let us understand what are the duties of the board of directors in relation to CSR. The lawmaker over here says the board of every company fulfilling the above mentioned criteria. What are the criteria? Which we have already understood about a criteria towards the net worth, turnover or the net profits. What are the duties of the board of directors towards the CSR? The lawmaker says that the board of directors shall approve the CSR policy which has been recommended and formulated by the CSR committee. And yes, the board of directors will also ensure that the activities which are included in CSR policy are being properly undertaken by the company or not. So board of directors have got two duties over here. That is, number one, to approve the CSR policy, and they will also ensure that the activities which are being given inside the CSR policy, such activities are being properly conducted by the company or not. Next provision is about the exclusion of companies. Over here, the provision of section number 135 will not be applicable upon your company if consecutively 3 financial years your company is not fulfilling the criteria which is given under section number 135. See, every company which ceases to be a company covered under above criteria of section 135. What is the criteria of section number 135? We have already discussed a criteria towards the net profit or towards the turnover or towards the net worth. If such criteria is not been met for 3 consecutive financial years, then in that case your company is not required to constitute a CSR committee and your company will not be required to fulfill the provisions of section number 135. So over here, if your company is right now following the provision of section number 135, means your company is meeting the criteria which has been given in the section number 135. But if for continuously 3 years your company is not fulfilling the criteria of section number 135, then your company is not required to have a CSR committee, and yes, even the provisions of section number 135 is not been applicable upon your company till the time your company meets the criteria again. Till the time the company meets the criteria again. So let us move on towards the next provision of this section, which is about the CSR activities. The lawmaker over here says the CSR activities shall be undertaken by the company as per its CSR policy. So whatever has been written inside the CSR policy, only those activities will be considered as CSR activities, and the things which are being specified under CSR policy will be picked up directly from schedule number 7 of Companies Act 2013. The board of a company may decide to undertake its CSR activities approved by the CSR committee through the following 4 agencies. The board of the company can undertake CSR activities which has been approved by the CSR committee either through a company established under section 8, means you can take the help of a non-profit company, that is a company which is established under section number 8 of Companies Act 2013, or else you can undertake a CSR activity through a company established under section number 8 which is been registered or established by central government or state government. That is a non-profit company which is been established by central government or state government. Or you can undertake a CSR activity with an entity established under the Act of Parliament or a state legislature. Or you can undertake a CSR activity through a company established under section 8 and it is having a track record of at least 3 years in undertaking similar activities. So it is the board of directors of the company who will decide that the CSR activities will be taken by the company itself or through the help of a non-profit company, either a non-profit company or a non-profit company which has been established by central government or state government, or a non-profit company which is having at least 3 years in undertaking similar activities, or any other entity which has been established under the Act of Parliament or a state legislature. The next point says that every entity which has been covered above who intends to undertake CSR activity, that entity should be registered with the central government by filing a form called as CSR1, and this form should be filed electronically with ROC. And this was a new provision which was being brought into effect from 1st day of April 2021. See, prior to 1st day of April 2021, such registration was not required. So any company which had already undertaken such activities, their CSR projects or programs shall not get affected if it was been done before 1st April 2021. Form number CSR1 shall be signed and submitted electronically by the entity and shall be verified digitally by a chartered accountant who is in practice, or it should be verified by a company secretary in practice or a cost accountant in practice. Okay. The next provision says that a company may also collaborate with other companies for undertaking projects or programs or CSR activities. So either you can yourself undertake a CSR activity, or you can take the help of a non-profit company for undertaking a CSR activity, or you can also go for something called as collaboration with other companies for undertaking projects or programs or CSR activities in such manner that the CSR committee of respective companies are in position to report separately on such projects or programs in accordance with the rules. So if there are two companies who are getting collaborated for undertaking a CSR activity, then such collaboration should be done in such a way that both the companies can report individually in their own reports that this was the activity done on a collaboration way and this was our contribution towards that collaborated project or CSR activity. Next point, it is a repetitive point, that is a company can build a CSR capacity of their own personnel as well those of implementing agency through institution with established track record of at least 3 financial years, and yes, the administrative overhead expenditure of such entire CSR capacity shall not be exceeding 5% of the total CSR expenditure. Next point, any surplus arising out of the CSR activities shall not form part of the business profits of the company and shall be plowed back into the same project or shall be transferred to the unspent CSR account and spent in pursuance of CSR policy and annual action plan of the company, or transfer such surplus to a fund specified in schedule number 7 within a period of 6 months of the expiry of the financial year. In short, any kind of surplus amount arising out of a CSR activity, then that surplus amount is not to be forming a part of business profit of the company. In fact, that surplus amount should be utilized for the same project, or else it should be transferred to an unspent CSR account, or it should be transferred to a specified fund which has been given under schedule number 7, and such activity should be done within 6 months of the expiry of the financial year. Next comes the repetitive point again. A company which has spent an amount in excess of the requirement of section number 135. For example, your company is required to spend only 100 crores, but your company has spent 150 crores towards CSR activities. Then whatever is the excess amount your company has spent may be set off against the requirements to spend to the immediate succeeding 3 financial year, subject to the condition that number 1, the excess amount available for set off shall not include the surplus arising out of the CSR activity. The excess amount should not include the surplus amount. and yes, the board of the company shall pass a resolution to that effect, that yes, we have spent something which was an excess amount, let us set off this excess amount for the coming years. Next point, the CSR amount may be spent by a company for creation or acquisition of a capital asset which shall be held by number 1, a company established under section 8, or a registered public trust or a registered society, or it can be held by a beneficiary of the said CSR project, or it can be held by a public authority. So if the company wants to spend the amount of CSR towards a acquisition of a capital asset, then yes, it can also spend the amount towards the acquisition of a capital asset. Such capital asset can be held by any one of the following organization. Any capital asset created by a company prior to the commencement of Companies Amendment Rules 2021 shall within a period of 180 days from such commencement comply with the requirement of this rule, which may be extended by a further period of not more than 90 days with the approval of the board based on the reasonable justification. So whatever is the capital asset the company had acquired prior to the commencement of this Amendment Rules 2021, that capital asset should be within a period of 180 days from the commencement of such amendment rules, or else maximum within 90 days, which can extended with the permission of the board only and only with the reasonable justification. That capital asset should now fulfill the requirements which are being given under Company Amendments Rule 2021. So any capital asset, I'll repeat my entire statement, any capital asset which was been acquired before the commencement of Company Amendment Rules 2021, that capital asset should now be fulfilling the provisions of the Company Amendment Rules 2021 within 180 days, or a further extension of 90 days can be given. That extension can be given by the board only and only. That extension can be given only and only with the approval of the board based on some reasonable justification. Next point says about the contribution to the corpus of a trust or society or section 8 company will also qualify a CSR expenditure. So you can directly contribute a corpus amount to a trust or a society or a section 8 company, and whatever is your contribution towards the corpus will also be qualifying as a CSR expenditure. Over here, the lawmaker says the salaries which are being paid by the companies to regular CSR staff as well as to the volunteers of the companies can be factored into CSR project cost as the part of the CSR expenditure. So whatever is the salaries you are paying to your CSR staff will also be factored into the CSR project cost, and it will be considered as a part of CSR expenditure. Last provision says that what will not be considered as CSR activities. Yes, my dear friends, this is an important provision. The last point over here, the lawmaker says that any kind of CSR projects or programs undertaken outside India will not be considered as a CSR activity. The second point says the CSR projects or programs which are for the benefits of the employees of the company and their families. Any kind of CSR activities or CSR projects or programs which has been done for the employees of the company or for their families will not be considered as CSR activities. Next point says that any amount which has been directly or indirectly contributed to any political party will also not be considered as a CSR activity. Next point says CSR activities should be undertaken by the company in a project or program mode. It should not be a one-off event. It should be under a project or program mode. And last point says any expenses incurred by the company for the fulfillment of any act or statute of regulations. If any kind of expenditure is being done by the company towards the fulfillment of any act or any statutes of regulation, that even that amount which has been expended by the company will not be considered as a part of CSR activity. So yes, my dear friends, we have completed the entire revisionary part of section number 135 along with the amendments. However, there is a very small topic which is required to just understand over here. That is a topic towards schedule number 7. Yes, my dear friends, under schedule number 7, there is a huge list of activities which has been given, wherein the CSR committee of the company can select any 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or maybe 4 activities for discharging their obligations or responsibility towards the society. See, schedule number 7 tells us that the activity can be towards eradication of hunger, poverty or malnutrition, or there can be an activity towards promoting education or promoting gender equality or ensuring something towards environmental sustainability or ecological balance. There can be an activity towards protection of national heritage, art and culture. There can be an activity which can be undertaken towards measures for the benefits of armed forces veterans, war widows and their dependents. There can be an activity which can be undertaken by the company towards the training to promote rural sports, national recognized sports, Paralympic sports and Olympic sports. You can also contribute towards PM Cares Fund. You can also contribute towards the incubators which have been funded by central government. You can also make a contribution towards rural development projects or slum area development projects or disaster management including relief, rehabilitation and reconstruction activities. So you can over here select any one or two or maybe three or maybe four activities from schedule number 7 in order to discharge your obligations towards the society. Over here, spending of CSR funds for COVID-19 is an eligible CSR activity, and spending of CSR funds for carrying out awareness campaigns or programs or public outreach campaigns on COVID-19 vaccinations programs, setting up makeshift hospitals and temporary COVID care facilities is an eligible CSR activity. Any activity which is being undertaken by a company towards carrying out any awareness campaigns or programs or public outreach campaigns on COVID-19 vaccinations or setting up a makeshift hospitals and temporary COVID-19 care facilities will also be considered as a CSR expenditure, will also be considered as an CSR activity rather. Over here, the provisions towards CSR reporting which is already been done in our regular lectures. So yes, my dear friends, we have successfully completed our entire revision towards section number 135 of Companies Act 2013 along with the amendments. Thank you so much.